Good morning, Western New York golfers. It's a beautiful weekend to play golf. Welcome to the Tee2Green show. We are at Niagara Falls Country Club. I'm sitting next to PGA professional Tim Freezer and the head professional JP Bedard. We're excited because the Porter Cup is coming back once again. We're looking at the list of players out here. We're looking at the field, and we're excited for another weekend of golf. Freezer, thanks for coming on with us this morning. Brian and Kevin are both out of the country and unavailable this morning, so they're stuck with me and you. So we're going to have to entertain our Western New York golfers for the next hour. Yeah, I think we can do it.
They brought in the lefty out of the bullpen here, so sitting in here, JP and I will be able to back you up here. I know they are out of the country.
Right? Yep, they're out of the country, yeah, so it's hard for them. Kevin's doing the Scottish Open, and Brian's on vacation. So,
he works hard during the year, off year. Here he is.
Kevin doesn't work that hard. Yeah. But it's nice to be here at Niagara Falls Country Club. You play here a lot, Freezer, right? I used to coach here when I played for coach Niagara. Been around this track a million times. Love playing here. It looks like it's in amazing shape right now, getting ready for the biggest event of the year.
Cool Tillinghast design here. There's probably more bunkers than there are greens to putt on. It's fantastic out here.
Yeah, it is fun, and it's got some of the best views in Western New York, maybe the best clubhouse view in Western New York. But let's get right down to it. Hey, welcome JP Bedard, the head professional here at Niagara Falls Country Club. He's also a CPGA member and a PGA member, one of the few dual memberships in our section. Yes.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit what goes on this week. It's a big week for the club. We got the Porter Cup coming up. Can you give people who aren't familiar with the Porter Cup maybe a little bit of history, a little bit of background about what the Porter Cup actually is?
Well, it was started in 1959. We have a lot of history here. Goes back, small event, to hosting some of the best players in the world.
Yep.
Over the years, we've had so many, I think we're up to about 72 major winners that have come through our grounds here. You know, one of the most famous ones, Tiger, but he never did win it.
Yeah, loser. I can't win when he needs to. Yeah.
Didn't he have a hole in one during the event, though?
He did on number 12.
Yeah, there's a plaque out there for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There is.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, you've had a lot of history here. A lot of names have come through here. Right from, you know, like I said, Crenshaw back in the day, and now you come up here in DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson,
Mickelson.
It goes on, and Mickelson, Duvall both won it.
Yep.
So
David Duvall, yeah, remember how good that guy was? Yeah,
he was really good.
Yeah, Ricky, or favorite.
Yep. Another player.
So this is one of the premier amateur events in the country, and so the elite players come through here every year. And part of what makes the event great is everything you do off the golf course too. So there's a lot of hosting for the families. There's a lot of fun. Like, so when you create a tournament like this, you also have to create an environment that the players want to come to, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's the biggest part for the Porter Cup, and the membership takes great pride in that. I think that's one of the big attractions too, is a lot of the housing players get to meet our members. Members open their homes, and there's been lifelong relationships. You know, out of the blue, I know Adam Scott reaches out to Scotty Avery when he's out in San Diego. They'll say, "Hey," so it's neat to see that and hear those stories. Over the years of all the players that still keep in contact with our membership.
So how many players play in the event? How many get to qualify for the event?
So we had 3 qualifiers in our qualifying round. We had 82 players.
For 3 spots in the open qualifier.
For the open qualifier.
Okay, yep.
And then this year we have 80 men playing and 37 ladies.
80 men and 37 women. Yep. So you got a big field, and it starts
on Wednesday,
Ham Tuesday.
Ham Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So Ham Tuesday is just the players and our sponsorships playing. They do a double shotgun, one at 7:30, one at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We have a players dinner afterwards. And then Wednesday, we kick it off at 7:30 a.m. and go right till 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And Saturday.
And Saturday. Saturday is the final round of this event, right?
Correct.
And people, it's free to watch, right?
Free to watch. We park on Military. The Boy Scouts run the parking lot. So maybe a little donation to them gets you your souvenir booklet, pairing sheets, and then you're free to walk the grounds and come up to the pro shop and the merchandise tent, and there's vendors out on the golf course. So it's a mini tour event.
Yeah.
And that's what we create out here. I'd
like to, I don't think people realize how good some of these young men and women are. It's a different sound when they strike the golf ball than when I'm hitting it. That's for sure. They hit it so hard and so far. They're all fit and athletic and strong and powerful, and they get great short games. And these are future tour players. That's why I think it's such a great event to have locally. And if people really like golf, you got to bring your kids out here and let them watch these kids whip it around, and they'll get inspired by that, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. You don't realize who's going to be the next PGA Tour star.
Right.
Like when you look at some of the names and where they finished here when they played here years ago, like Dustin Johnson, you look at his numbers. Just the one example, he was like 40th, and look what DJ did.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, right? And you look at those players, and you just don't know who's going to be the next star out here. That's what's exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list here. Argentina, Australia, they're from around the world, right? Men and women, and the universities many of these kids are from too. It's amazing. The Notre Dames, Birchmont, San Diego. It's great. So this is quite a mix of the men and women that play in this event, and along with the history that this has, these are the future stars.
Brooke Henderson, she came through here, right?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, did she win?
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did. Yeah, yep. Quite a player. Canadian, correct?
Yeah, she's okay.
You're a little partial to her because she's Canadian. We always have a strong contingent of Canadians in this event also, right?
Yeah, normally we do. There's still quite a few that come. With Team Canada now with the structure and everything else, they're quite busy, and the last few years it hasn't fit into their schedule. So hopefully we'll get some more of their players back here. But we do. We still have lots of Canadians that come through here.
Yeah, what's the yardage, let's say, for people listening about how the young men and women, where do they play from? So the course, it's a par 70. So there's 5 par 3s, 3 par 5. So think of that as par, a couple hundred yards for each par. What do the men play? All the way back, 2 steps off, and then where do the women play?
The women play a combination of our blue and hybrid tees. So
is it 80%, 85%, 87%, or is it based on what the committee decides on that day, best tee placement, et cetera?
We'll move a few tees around for the ladies, but the ladies predominantly play about 6,200 yards. The men are at 6,900. Remember, par 70.
Yeah.
So when you're adding that as a par 72, just to give relation, people will say, "Oh, that looks like a little short," but add 300 yards,
right?
Because we're par 70.
Yeah.
So that puts it now at 7,100 yards, which is still pretty long.
Yeah, you could have more than 300. Yeah, because you got 2 more. So that's easy to see, and they do bash. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Everybody bashes. There's no short hitters, are there?
Not. You know what? That's the biggest change. I caddied for Taylor Pendrith in 2013.
Okay. You've been here at this club a long time, right?
My 14th season.
Yeah, nice.
And he was one of the few players that could take it over like 11 bunker on our par 5 from the tee. 13, he was one of a handful of players that could take it over the creek on 13. Now, there's only maybe a handful of kids that lay up on 13 and a handful of kids that can't get it past that bunker.
So people, explain that to people listening who've never played the course, maybe. How far of a carry? Like it's a carry in a creek on 13 in the air. That's
you're looking at 275
in the air. Yeah, most of the kids are carrying it back.
Into the wind there a little.
Yeah,
and it's not rolling out because it lands in the uphill. Yeah,
it's the change in speed and that distance these kids hit it now. It's unbelievable.
And you teach a lot. Yeah, right.
I was teaching pro for 11 years.
Well, now that you're a head pro, you've had to relegate some of those tasks.
Yeah. So one of my assistants now, Mike Sammartino, is filling that teaching role. So I'm doing a great job.
Yeah, we know Mike. He's a He's a very good player on his
Yeah,
side.
really
Good
good
young man too. Yeah, nice kid to see. Yeah, nice to have that kind of staff.
Yeah, have a great staff here.
And I got to even mention the greens here. They're awesome, and they get them rolling. And for it to be relative to your club, I got to think the speeds here on a stimp. We're getting what 11s
On a
12s.
daily basis. We're running about 12.
Yeah,
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis,
That's pretty fast. Yeah,
it is pretty quick.
You got to be precise,
Yep.
and then chipping around the greens. There's not a lot of step cut here. It is you're opening up the face and you're hitting a little lob shot on every chip shot, and it's rolling out. So,
and
Yes.
so can you relay maybe one of your stories, like one of your favorite stories? You've been around the Porter Cup for so many years. Is there a story that people might find entertaining or sticks out to you that you could relay to the listeners that you could tell that would
Absolutely.
be acceptable for the air? Yeah.
Funniest one, caddying for Taylor. We're in a drizzle, and we get up on number 3, and he hits his drive, and he just bombs it. And we're playing with this
3 is
par 5.
par
par 5. Yep.
Yep. So we have this kid Tyler. Can't remember the last name. It comes to me, but anyways, big tall kid from Texas A&M. He gets up there and hits his drive, and he whispers to his caddy. He goes, "I finally got him." Taylor looks at me and says, "Huh?" I said, "Don't worry, watch this." So I run up and I walk up to the ball, which is Tyler's ball, and he's standing there. And he looks at us and goes, "You guys going to hit?" I look at him. I said, "Not my ball." We're 35, 40 yards by him. And he thought he actually outdrove him. And he goes, "I might have to be an accountant or something."
Well, Tyler's Penton's on the tour now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And he's had some success out there.
He has.
And that's got to be fun for you, because I know my neighbors played in the Ham and talks frequently about, still friends with the guy he played with, and same with you. You create relationships with these people,
Yes.
and stuff like that. So, yes, well, it's a fun event. I think people should be excited about coming out to this event. And if you get a chance, just look up Niagara Falls Country Club. Bring your kids. Come on out. Walk around this golf course. Check out these players. Yeah, you want to see borderline tour players. And a lot of these kids are trying to now, because you can graduate to the PGA Tour through college events and achieving points. An event like this is super important to them. A win like this helps them make their step towards making the tour. And you probably see, you're definitely going to see people in this field that are going to be in the tour.
Absolutely, we will.
Yeah, it's almost happened. It happens every year, right?
Correct.
You got your own Mike Boss playing in the field here.
We do.
Golf chairman and really good player, and son of the former pro here for 30-something years, John Boss. It's great to see Mike. What a great guy and a really good player.
He is a really good player. Yeah, we got some. People are surprised how many good players come out of Western New York. Yeah, we talked to Melanie Green recently. I don't know if you know her from Western New York. We had a nice interview with her last week, and all the tour players, and we got people like Freezer out here in Western New York slinging it around also too. Yeah. So, all right. Well, any other good stories or anything you'd tell people if they're listening to try to to come on out? Anything else they would want to know? Parking is free, right?
Parking's free.
The Boy Scouts ask for a little donation if you can do it, great. And then and that's not far from here. You can walk from that point, or do
Absolutely. So you have you're parking off a military road, which is on our golf course property. You can head over to hole 14, 15, because it's right by the parking lot, or you cross the street and they'll direct you. And then you're on the property right at 11 and 3. Great spectator area. I always tell everybody when you come across the road, make a right, head down the 11 fairway. And if you hang out about 3 green, you got 4 tee, 6 green, 7 tee, 12 tee, 11 green, 13. So it's a great area to watch a ton of golf, and you don't have to move around too much.
But that corner, and you might catch a shot of Toronto up there too, right? If the day is clear.
On hole 16, that's another one is gets piled up. It's on behind 15, because you got 15 green, 16 tee, and 17 tee. Beautiful view of Toronto behind 16.
Yeah, nice clear day. You can see miles and miles and miles.
JP, tell me about the website's pretty good, pretty robust. If they want to go on the website, are tee times on the website? Is the event schedule on the website? Players on the website?
Yes. Past participants, Golf Genius is the website that will be linked up to the Porter Cup. So we'll have a GGID here, which is 26PC. So the live scoring will be on Golf Genius. Anyone that has the Golf Genius app or is on a computer, golfgenius.com. Put that GGID in, 26PC, and they'll be able to follow that. And we'll have a QR code here on property so people can scan it and have the automatic live scoring on their phones.
And as far as local players, there's Mike Boss, who's an excellent player.
Yep.
A couple of years ago, Ben Reichert won. He's a local Buffalo guy. Yeah, he had a really good year that year. If you remember, he won the state AM, this event, and the Florida AM.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty good year. Still not on the tour. Shows you how hard it is to make the tour. Any other local players that we might want to watch out for besides Mike that you know of or you don't know?
I'm not too familiar with all the players around here yet.
Bonnie's Chris Boyes, right?
Oh, yes.
From Bonaventure.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then we have Billy Haynes always plays.
Okay.
Great mid-am, really good player.
Really good player, yeah.
Fun to watch.
Yep. He's out of Craigburn. Yep.
Yeah, out of Craigburn.
He just finished pretty good in the New York State Am. They just finished that up.
Yeah, we did just have the New York State Am.
Yeah, out of Glens Falls. That just finished.
Have you played Glens Falls, Fraser?
Haven't played it.
Okay.
That's a nice Donald Ross.
That's what I heard. Yep. Well, that'll get us to our PGA tip of the week here. We're gonna give you a little something different this week. The PGA Tour tip of the week is brought to you by the Western New York PGA, which has one goal: promoting and growing the game of golf today, tomorrow, and beyond. And we're all PGA members. How about that?
Yeah, we're gonna talk just a little bit about kind of go back and forth here with some rules. I'll throw some things at you.
Yeah, so how the rule, because people, when you're playing, understanding the rules, now the rules can be tough or they can seem overwhelming, right?
Yes, and you, in many events now, there's usually a rules official.
Right.
Niagara Falls, John Burns here, he's been doing that for New York. Is he still handling the rules here for the World Cup?
Yes.
Oh, I
there you go.
Yeah, we usually have them on. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have 'em on next week.
But we had a situation yesterday. It's interesting. A player hit in our championship we were playing in, and he hits on a par 5, hits a second shot up near the green, gets it on the green, and as he's about to putt, he goes, I don't have bumblebees on my ball. Uh-oh. So he has now hit a wrong ball. He's thinking back of what happened. Where did he hit the wrong ball? He thinks, oh, probably my second shot. They go back to look for that ball. Can't find it. 3 minutes are up. Guess what he's got to do? Go back all the way to the tee. So now he's got to play lost ball. Well, now you're hitting 3 from the tee, but he's got to add 2 because he hit a wrong ball.
So he added 2 for hitting the wrong.
5 from the tee makes a 9. Okay, now we're joking around calling him Mr. 9. That's what happens. He just followed the rules, no big deal, but it was just unfortunate. Couldn't find the ball and the time ran out. But I wanted to throw at you guys a couple. So out of bounds stakes. I've always wondered why you don't get relief from an out of bounds or boundaries. And so think about you're in an out of bounds stake in a penalty area. You can move the stake, but out of bounds you can't move it. What if you hit and you splinter the thing up? I always wondered why we don't get relief from boundaries from out of bounds or a stake you can't move it. And also
they're not contiguous part. They're not part of the golf course. That's why you don't get relief.
That's fine, but you can hurt yourself.
All right.
What if I hit it and you've hit it near a stake? I just wondered why, and I asked the USGA about those. I'm like, why can't you just get relief? I'll call it that. Get relief from boundaries or fences or something like that. So that was just one of mine, and I just wanted.
And what did they tell you?
They said that's just the way we always do it. I hate that answer.
Yeah.
Just really hate it.
Well,
what do you think?
I think when you understand some of the concepts of the rule, it's supposed to be an equity, right? So everything we do, people when understanding the rules, I'm even nervous talking about the rules. There's changes, now I still drop over my shoulder. You know what I mean? That's how long I've been playing golf. But people think about the rules and they're often afraid of them, but often they can help you, right?
Absolutely.
I remember a ruling where a player, his only reasonable shot was he was stuck behind a tree, was to play it left-handed. But when he played it he was a right-handed golfer. When he played it left-handed, his feet were on the cart path.
Correct.
So he got relief from the cart path, ended up having a nice free swing and a free look at
then he could play righty again.
Then he could play righty again. So often the rules will help you, Casual water. We saw the US over the tumult over not getting relief a couple of years ago. And
now it's called temporary.
Temporary. So they changed the verbiage a lot, right?
Yes.
And how do you determine casual water?
Yeah, that is if
temporary.
Temporary. Yep. Your feet. You're bringing up water around your feet,
right.
Or your ball. We saw that at the U.S. Open at Oakmont last year. That was interesting where they didn't grant him relief, even though he got a second ruling. Right. I wanted to ask you another one too. At Glen Oak, we do everything red. Red penalty areas.
All right, explain that to the difference between red and yellow. Please explain that to the average golfer.
Yeah, and it's almost like I'd almost rather not. Right.
Right.
So in red, you get that extra option to 2 club lengths away from where your ball entered. But in the yellow, you got to keep that point where the ball entered that penalty area between you and the flag. Go back as far as you want.
Correct.
But in some situations that you might even have to re-hit. Red gives you another option. It keeps play moving, goes ahead, and there is a push to possibly have red everywhere on golf courses. We did that at Glen Oak. We've got 18 holes with 18. There's stakes on every hole.
Saves you on paint colors too. You
It
only
saves
need
you on
red.
paint. I just buy a lot of red. Red stakes. And the other one is interesting about a penalty in golf. You know, you go out of bounds in basketball, it goes to the other team.
Right.
One stroke penalty everywhere. We've gone over that. Interesting. There are instances, I think there was 14 at one point, of 2-stroke penalties where I'd love to see just 1-stroke penalty. Make it easy for everybody. You did something not even egregious, but that's just one. You hit it out of bounds, you come back one. People talk about historical records, and you hit it out of bounds. You got to go back to the tee. I get all that.
Well, is it?
We're trying to make it
it's stroke and distance.
That's
That's
correct.
it's still a 1-stroke penalty.
Correct.
You just also lose the distance.
Then
But
you
now
also
they've
lose.
changed that rule, right?
Yeah, so how many people are even caught up?
Yeah.
And that's why you have rules officials at the Porter Cup here,
Right.
and we know them. And as you said, Jeff, you and I kind of came into that verbiage that changes
Right.
from each year they do change. I think they've made it simpler. I think they've made it better in many instances. Now, if you drop your ball, you move your ball, it's not a penalty anymore. So or if it moves on the green, not a penalty anymore. Just put it. That's good.
Even in the hazard, the practice swings and things like that, there's a lot more leniency with that.
Yeah, our lexicon is saying hazard, right? We're now penalty area.
Penalty area.
So exactly.
I'm
I know.
dating myself, obviously. And
That's
in the
okay.
90s, I tried to take the USGA test to become a rules expert. One of the most difficult tests there. I mean, it's really, really hard. And now I'm 20, 30, my verbiage, my knowledge. There's a biannual review is it biannual or quadrennial? Every 2 or 4 years, I think they
do review
so there's often changes. So a rules official really needs to stay up on the rules.
Yeah, JP, I saw that you even, I was thinking here at Niagara Falls on, you go over the 18th green, and I see that now you've put white paint on the curb rather than a stake that's on the grass, and that's not a bad way to do it as long as the transportation authority is okay with that. You just put that white line on the curb, and that becomes out of bounds. That would be kind of an interesting thing there.
It's temporary chalk.
It washes off.
In case they're listening.
Yeah.
In case they're listening.
But those types of things to make the rules a little easier for you, instead of stakes being moved, am I out, am I in, and it helps players.
But if you're going to be playing in tournaments, you need to have a basic understanding of the rules. So because the rules can often help you, and you need to know where to drop. There's nothing, we've all hit the wrong ball. We've all hit our ball by accident on the putting green, or moved, you drop your coin down, you hit your golf ball. You got to know what to do. And a simple understanding of the rules is easy. The USGA does make it easy because they have some videos online, and they're excellent.
They're excellent. Yes. And too, if you're unsure, so during the Porter Cup, if you're unsure and a rules official is not right there immediately, you can play 2. Hey, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. I'll play this. And then I think this one here, I might get relief. You can play 2, and then you get the answer. That's
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, right? I'd recommend, hey, if you're in a tough situation, play 2 balls and ask the rules official. Yep. And that's usually going to be your PGA professional, unless you're in an event like this.
Correct.
Yeah, don't you love getting those rulings, especially during the invite? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I've had to disqualify people during invites and stuff.
That goes well for the Calcutta for you.
Yeah, they love it too when you tell them they're DQ'd because they did something wrong.
You show them the rule. If you could read this for me here, I'm not penalizing you. What does the rule say?
Right. It's actually not me. It's the rules that we're just adhering to.
But it's always your fault.
Do
you have many of those during the Porter Cup? Do you have many situations?
Yeah, flower beds, but that's on the, it's on the hard card. You're getting free relief from the flower beds and that stuff. But I think that's, kids are just unsure.
Yeah.
We're like you said, like the rules change so much, and you're unsure, and even though you might have it right in front of you on your card and players notice, it's like, I don't know. So they want to make sure, no matter what, that they're dropping it right or doing it correctly.
Yeah, because even as much as we play, the tour players are unsure.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't want to make a mistake when you take a drop and put yourself in a jackpot there.
Yeah, you watch it on tour all the time. Like, it's amazing to see tour players not know the rules.
Like dropping from a cart path. They'll call a guy over. Yeah, the most basic of drops. Right. Yes.
Even when you turn your scorecard in now, they have changed that,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice. You don't just get you get 15 minutes, I think it's after, and there's a scoring area, but now the scoring area is expanded. They've made it a little easier in case you're not sure.
A little more reasonable.
We'll go with reasonable.
Yeah. Some of it was a little harsh and antiquated in my mind, but
don't step over the white line because then you're out of the scoring area.
Oh yeah. Then you're DQ'd because you moved 6 feet away to shake hands with somebody. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen it called, but it's in the rule book. So, well, all right. Well, we're excited to have the Porter Cup here, and I'm excited. I'm going to be out here next week. I'm going to be watching some of the players on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I love because we know the golf course so well. We get to see the future tour players. So we're excited for you here at the Niagara Falls Country Club. Thanks for coming on with us today. We're going to go to break, and after we come back from break, Freezer and I are going to continue this stimulating golf talk here.
JP, thanks, man. Great luck this week.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good luck this week, JP.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome back to Tee2Green. We are here at Niagara Falls Country Club up on the escarpment. A beautiful, beautiful summer morning. We're getting ready for one of the premier events in Western New York, the Porter Cup, the men's and women's. Finest amateur players in the country are going to be matriculating through here this week, trying to compete for one of the most prestigious titles. And Tim, I'd like to talk to you a little bit. You got to play you had another successful week. You played in one of the PGA's majors this week in a qualifier. We had our Western New York PGA Senior Championship, and we're going to send 4 of our local professionals to the National Club Professionals Championship. And where will that be held next year?
That is it's going to be this October,
Okay.
3rd week or so, and it's Superstition Mountain out in Arizona.
All right.
So Scottsdale, just a beautiful place to go. And what that does is it allows you to try to qualify for the Senior PGA Championship, just like many of us here in a couple of weeks play in the how to get into the PGA Championship next year. So it's really a neat way for a club professional to keep his game, keep sharp, let's say, play locally against your friends, and just get you out of the shop a little bit and play some golf, and it gives you some credibility for playing. And we did finish up our championship yesterday. It was a lot of fun down there.
Lakeview? It
was at Lakeview Country Club. If any of you have played down there, the greens are spectacular down at the Erie Golf Course. They grow a lot of grapes down there. There's something with the soil. The greens are screaming. That was a lot of fun to play for 2 days down there.
And you had a little bit of success. You're qualified. You're going through to the next round.
Yeah, we'll go with the second round. The hole got in the way a little bit. It's just fun. Did some work of some chalk line and found the hole, and then found my way into this qualifying situation that we get to go.
And you've had some success at the national too.
Yes, yeah. That was and I did get to play in the Senior PGA Championship one time. That was a lot of fun. Practice rounds, hitting balls with Bernard Langer and Padraig Harrington and all. That was a lot of fun.
So basically, this is a path to qualify for a major, which is something you did, and that's it's a great event. And you look at Western New York golf. I've been in Western New York golf for a long time, 35 years. We've been buddies. I don't know how many, 30, 35 years. And the top 3 players in the event was John Hecker from Rochester. John was first. You were second, right?
Yeah. So John had played in the PGA Championship before, and John played a great round yesterday to win that, and then a really good friend, Kirk Stoffers down in Erie, and he's been winning. I think he's won the last 4 or something, so he did well too. He made it.
He's made it to the PGA, right?
Yes.
So and all 3 of you have.
Yes, and then David Wedzik made it, and he is down in Erie, and he played a very high level. He was in final groups, which is now the Corn Ferry Tour. He played at a very high level, started his family, and is working hard. He's does a great job.
He's a very good teacher.
PXG guy, actually.
Wrote a book. Yep.
Yes, he did. Yes.
And his book's excellent. Lowest score wins, if I'm not mistaken, in the title.
Yeah.
And I used it a lot for coaching. Basically, he goes through how the concept of scoring is the closest to the hole wins, right? So
close to the hole.
It's the number 1 factor in scoring is how close you hit it to the hole. That's why driving and far matters, right?
Yeah, and interesting enough, things in his book. Scotty Scheffler has been number 1 in strokes gained approach for years here, actually going away. And this week he didn't do so well, strokes gained approach, and he missed the cut. First time in 4 years, I think 78 events. So data driven, he's going to look at, why am I not hitting my shots closer? And a wonderful player here that's played the Porter Cup, Anthony Delasani, and I had that conversation too. He's trying to play at a high level, trying to qualify. He identified through something in that book about his strokes gain, and if you hit it closer, you just have a better chance of making shots. And of course, Nelly Korda missed the cut too. Interesting enough, and her approaches just weren't sharp. So if you're going to practice today a little bit, always do the short game, but it's how to hit it a little closer, get your distances down, right?
Right, and it helps. And how do you hit it closer? Well, you hit it farther, so you have a shorter club into the hole, right? Yeah. And then to shorter clubs, you tend to hit it closer. And iron play is very important, obviously. I look back over the last 35 years. I've watched you, John Hecker, Kirk Stoffer win almost everything for the last 35 years throughout. John's in Rochester, I think one of the best players, definitely in Rochester. You're the best player come out of Buffalo. Kirky's the best guy from Erie in my mind for years and years, and the 3 of you have represented our section in so many tournaments. And Lonnie Nielsen, you guys used to compete against him, and I don't think people realize what a high level that you guys have played at and got to play nationally in addition to your daytime jobs as PJ professionals and teaching professionals and running a family.
Yeah, and how do you balance that? That's exactly right. That you work hard and you play hard. And Lonnie made us all better. We lost him too early in his life, but he was so good. And so he just set a bar,
Right.
and then he made the senior tour, and he won out there as well. Did really well, and Josie and the family and the grandkids. We would think of Lonnie every time we play a tournament. In fact, our Player of the Year is named after Lonnie Nielsen here in the Western New York PGA.
So people that don't know who Lonnie is, Lonnie was the head professional at Craigburn Country Club. He played the tour for a while. He was just, I always looked at it like Heckler was the ultimate grinder. He hits it short, and he's got a great short game. You're an amazing ball striker. I've played with you. I don't know how many times you hit 18 greens in a round. I mean, I never do that. And then Kirky Stauffer is just a pit bull.
Yeah.
But Lonnie was golden child. He could do it all. He could whip it around like nobody's business.
Yeah, he told me one time after I look up on a scoreboard and he's got 3 2s on the scoreboard. He goes, Freezer, what are you looking at? I go, well, you're winning our tournaments with these par 3s. What is up? He goes, well, there's nothing easier than a par 3. What? He's had 22 hole-in-ones at that point. He makes 2s all the time, and I wondered, what do you think on the par? He goes, well, it's the easiest shot in golf. You get to. You know the yardage exactly. You stand wherever you want, pick whatever club you want. It's only one swing, one shot. It's the easiest shot in golf. It's like a foul shot. It's like a swish. What a mindset.
Wait, the mindset, I love that mindset too, because you have a level lie, right? You get to move it in the tee. You can move it left side of the tee, right side of the tee, take advantage of that.
If you're playing golf today, think of that mindset and you're coming up to a par 3, and it's the cleanest shot you can make. It's on a tee. So think of the par 3s as your easiest hole of the day. Almost go into it thinking, hey, how close can I hit it? What an opportunity I could have. Hey, I'd love to make a hole-in-one. It's hard too. It's semi-accidental, but not really, right?
Yeah.
So Lonnie, his mindset got him to that point. Sure enough, if he's making those 2s on par 3s, it's like skipping a hole.
Right.
I call it. You made a 2. You skipped a hole. But if you make a bogey or a triple, oh my God, you've added a hole, right? But Lonnie did that, and he would win by a couple of shots, and you look and go, he did it with the par 3s.
And one of my pet peeves is when I play with amateurs, when they don't tee it up on par 3s. Exactly. They just plunk it on the ground and hit it up the turf.
You watch a tour player. And also, I'd love to see many of the players use the line and starting at some of these championships, like I've done, the women, the men, and the PGAs. They're using the line on the ball, whether they use a marker or Titleist. Different companies are coming out with different lines that are on the ball. Use that line on a par 3. Point it at the target you're trying to go. You're trying to hit a cut shot. You're trying to hit it, maybe a draw straight. Point it right at the flag. Use that line. Now you don't have to line up your body as much or work so hard because the ball is lined up at the hole. I saw so many players do that. I adopted that, and my par 3s are way better. My stroke average came down.
I'm going to have to look at that because I've never done that on the tee, and it would make sense. I know where I'm going to blast this ball. I know this starting direction.
I do it on every tee, and I saw so many players do it, and it certainly helps your alignment. You don't have to guess.
Another quick Lonnie story. I remember people talking about, well, what's a fade, Lonnie? Well, it hits the ground and it rolls right. And what's a draw? It hits the ground and it rolls left. Yeah, that's a little bit more than my level of golf I've ever achieved. Yeah,
the tour players, their balls fall right or fall left. They don't really hit. The equipment nowadays, we'll see what happens with the ball roll back has seemed to be pulled back a little bit for all you listening out there.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit. Yeah, because you're nationally on the board for the PGA of America. You've been to the Ryder Cup, you've been to the PGA Championship, you've been to a million of these events. You're in on the meetings nationally. Yeah. The rollback is something that's been coming up. I don't think it's got enough discussion lately of what's going on with the ball rollback.
Totally get where they're going with trying to, as history, we're hitting the ball farther, but a lot of things happen. The players, as you mentioned earlier, the players are getting stronger. They're learning how to build speed faster. Right. So the ball, the shots are going farther. Got it. And they're going higher, more control. Has equipment helped that a little bit? Sure, you're seeing that. And then they're trying to protect, in a sense, some of the old beautiful courses from building longer tees. But that's the 1% of the 1%. Most of the courses are doing what we're doing. We're building forward tees and getting people to move up a little bit, right?
Yeah, tee it forward.
Tee it forward, yes.
The PGA initiative.
But that ball roll back, they have pulled back a little bit here. More discussion. The testing, they're kind of going over what was that effect on balls. The new balls that they were proposing, a couple players, their ball actually went farther off of fire, and some lost tons more. So it wasn't equitable. And so they are pulling back from that. What I think you might see here, it'd be 2030-ish, you might see talk of the driver head itself being a little smaller.
Reduce it from
maximum 460s and maybe pull it down to 300s. You might see a shorter type driver instead of the 45 and 46s. The average on tour is 44, 43 and a half. They're making it like a 3 wood. That could happen. So
I think that's another thing people don't understand. Like tour players aren't normally hitting longer drivers.
Oh no,
They're typically half inch shorter than stock that we sell out of our shop. Yeah.
Yeah, and because they need to hit that fairway, and the stats have proven, just like Wedsy's book, the stats have proven if you're in the fairway, you just hit better shots, more close to the hole. So you saw on tour different, or Ronamink was a big golf course, but Aaron Rai won by just peppering it, down the fairway. And then you saw at the U.S. Open, it was 40-yard fairways, but it was a better shot when you're in the fairway. And we'll see what happens at the British that's coming up.
And the shorter shaft helps you hit the center of the blade a little bit. And the other thing I like to explain to people is if you want to swing fast, you don't have a longer, heavier club. If you couldn't get around on a fastball, do you go to a longer, heavier bat? No, you go to a lighter, shorter bat, right?
Point.
So the tour players have a shorter driver. It's about how fast they rotate. It's not about their arc length necessary. That's why they hit it far.
Yeah, and centerness of contact. So there, you see on the TrackMans these smash factors. So
Correct.
It's really it's a 1 to 1.5. So if you've got a 1.5 on a smash factor, you can learn that number. You're hitting it in the center. If you hit it in the center, the ball will go farther. Maximum speed and spin rate can come down. And
part of the rollback is the ball has, you and I have been playing long enough. We played with a lot of golf balls and wooden woods back in the day, and the ball used to curve a lot more. You can't curve the ball like you used to. So I'm interested to see if they do the ball rollback, if you'll start to see more curve in players' balls, if they'll play spinnier balls so they can curve it a little bit more. Right now, to hit a rope hook is a pretty hard shot to do with this golf ball.
Yeah, and golfers with the technology now and the coaching, which is fantastic. Whatever they come up with, I don't think we're going to be rolling back too much. They might put a pause, but if they do, there will be probably a spinnier ball. That's exactly right, which means it might curve a little bit more, which then makes off the tee. I have already gone to a shorter driver because I can hit in the center more. The speed, it doesn't really go down. I hit more fairways. And you play better golf. That's if everyone out there put their 3-wood shaft in their driver, you probably drive it better.
Yeah. And I also say to people sometimes, hitting your 3-wood's not a bad option off the tee because of the way it launches.
And about the smaller headed, they're calling them 2-woods. They're calling them their driving wood, right? So they are teeing it lower, smaller head, maybe a 12-degree, 13-degree, and that is now finding its way into players' bags because of the importance of the statistics. Hit the fairway. That's coming back. You'll see in championships, rough's going to grow up a little bit. It's okay to have a speedy fairway, right? But you have to. The greens are so good these days, and the flags are starting to hide them. And the good courses, we're seeing some really good scoring. There isn't the 30 unders, the 25 unders. You're not going to see that as much if the wind's up. Right here at the Porter Cup, if the wind blows, then the scores. That's We can play in the rain, we play in the cold, but when the wind's up,
the wind's the biggest factor,
and that would make driving more important. That's a great analogy, Jeff. I never thought of that. If you can't get around on a fastball, why would you go to a heavier, longer bat?
Yeah, and I always notice that I give a lot of lessons. I got got this 46.5-inch custom shit, and you're 5'9", and you're wondering why you're not smoking your driver or finding fairways. Just being aware of that and watching. There's so much bad information out there. And back to the golf ball, if it does change, the changes aren't really going to affect your average amateur player.
We don't see that.
Yeah, and there'll be a grace period.
Yeah.
And if the head sizes go down, I wonder if there'll be a bifurcation of the rules there, because I'm of the ilk. I'm trying to make the game easier and more fun for everybody. Right. And at the elite level, obviously, we've already put a limit on golf balls. The COR is 1.5, right? Yep. So in concept, you swing the club 100. So if people understand smash factor, when you swing the club 100 miles an hour, ideal in concept, the maximum amount of ball speed you get was 150. That would be a smash factor of 1.5. Yep. And when they show that on tour, you can always see the tour players are 148, 149, 150. Yeah. And when you get your average player, it goes down. And some of that is centerness of contact. Yep. It's not speed, it's angle of attack also. So if you're hitting down on the ball too much, you put too much spin, you don't compress the ball, right?
Yes.
So the ball is important. I don't think people understand. And that's why I'm always telling people, don't buy cheap, buy the premium golf balls. We're sponsored by Kelly. Buy the Chrome Soft or whatever. Get the high-end golf balls, even the not so good players. I know they're worried about losing them, but spin more, they go further, they stop on the green, they perform better all over. It's like a new tennis ball versus a wet old tennis ball.
Yeah, if you haven't been, it's kind of a neat concept to get fitted for a ball.
Yeah.
You start at the green,
right?
And it's about the sound, the click, and Jeff, when I played with you for so many years, you just had a really good touch, and our friend John Hecker, wonderful around the greens. but it's that spin rate.
Right.
It's that feel. And if you play a harder ball, there's a click, you just don't get the same. So then putters are coming out with inserts to try to soften that.
Yep.
But when you're hitting a wedge, and by the way, if you don't clean your grooves on every shot, you're missing it. You're that dirt and the moisture has to escape. And so clean your grooves, you'll spin it more around the greens too. Every shot. After you hit your shot, clean those grooves. You'll see tour players. Ricky's got a little brush, literally.
Which isn't cool, but he does it.
Exactly, but he knows and he is starting to play better. That's good to see. But you're exactly right. Play a better ball. Pay a couple bucks more. Get a better ball. If you find an old ball, that's better than some of the new hard balls.
Or go to the green and chip with a range ball and chip with a premium ball, and you'll see the difference right away. And it affects all players. I think a beginner player is going to get more benefit. And they always give the beginner players cheap golf balls, and those balls dive out of the air. They have no spin. They're tough to chip with. Yeah. They're just bad all the way around. So always err towards the premium golf ball.
Yeah, definitely. Even the beginner players, it's got to be a feel. Once they start to play, they'll see it, and that's how we fit balls. Start around the green. And the last thing would be, an 8-iron you'd hit and see how that goes. But it's definitely, TrackMan showed us a lot of data, and the book's written. The coaches know all this to get some help.
Yep.
And if you're thinking of all these things, and if hopefully we haven't confused you, talk to your PGA golf professional wherever you are. And they're not only at private clubs, they're at public facilities all over. We've got 6 PGA pros at Glen Oak and many of the places. There's wonderful, we've got probably 250 PGA golf professionals and associates within this Western Europe PGA section.
Yeah, it's a big section. People don't realize. Yeah, it's Rochester down towards Wellsville over to Erie. Yeah. It's a pretty big section. It's small compared to the rest of the country, but we do have some good players. And there's a difference between the PGA professional and your average.
Yeah, we're golf professionals. They're professional golfers.
Yeah, we are.
There is a difference.
Yeah, and we're in golf for. Yeah, we know golf. Yeah, that's why we do
what you do weekly. You help people.
Yeah, we work on games. Yeah. Well, and Freezer, one last question before we go to break. You're going to be playing in the national qualifier for the club. How will you prepare differently, or what will you do? Is there anything like are you working towards a goal between now and then, or are you still in the middle of your playing season where you're playing because there's still more tournaments to win this year?
Yeah, Wyndham Clark, his caddy said something to him before every shot. It's amazing. That man won 2 of the last 3 U.S. Opens against the best players in his group in the world, right? His psychologist has helped him. And his caddy would say, process, stay in the process. And so what I would do is you see Scotty Scheffler with a molded grip. What a fundamental. He makes sure his grip is the same every time. He uses that. He checks his ball position all the time, checks his alignment all the time. So if you want to go with fundamentals, you start with chapter 1 of Ben Hogan's book. It's about the fundamentals. I will nail those.
Yeah.
I will make sure I get those. My routine to hit a driver takes 10.5 seconds. If it takes any shorter, I've quickened it up. No good. If I take too long, step off. So the same thing with putting. Make sure you have a routine. In fact, on the driving range or the putting green, I practice my routine more than I practice the results of that shot. So that's what I will do. I will make sure that when I'm stepping up on the first tee of this really cool tournament in Arizona, it takes me 10.5 seconds and I just nail that driver and all of a sudden it's over and I did my routine. My pulse stays at 75.
That's pretty good. My pulse would be up. Yeah. Well, that's great. And it's going to be exciting. We're happy for you. It's great that the 4 of you are representing our section. 4 really players, 4 really good dudes. And that's going to be cool to watch. All right. After the break, we're going to have one more segment. We're going to have the PGA Tour Report, and we'll have a few more conversations about golf before we enjoy playing ourselves today. Get everybody. Yeah, we don't have that long in this segment. So. Are we back? All right, we're back in this. Welcome back to Tee2Green. I made a little mistake there. I'm a rookie at this. All right, well, we are bringing you now the PGA Tour Report. PGA Tour brought to you by Callaway Chrome Soft and by the First Tee of Western New York. This week's event is the Genesis Scottish Open, where Kevin Sylvester is currently roaming the fairways with players like Tom Kim, who's at 9 under, tied with Rory McIlroy. Some of the other names, Matthew Fitzpatrick's at 8 under. There's Goddard's at 7 under. A lot of really good names. A big tune-up for the players as they get ready for the what I call the British Open or the Open Championship.
Yes, and on the LPGA, we have a major, the Evian Championship. That's brought to you by NUTRL. Keep it tasty, Buffalo. So, hey, Rand, you is a 5-time winner on the PGA. How about that, Jeff?
Yeah.
She's won 5 times. Amazing. She's at 15 under. Our own Melanie Green is tied for 34. She made the cut.
Yeah, we're very happy for her. Yeah, and the Champions Tour Report is brought to you by Donald Ross Sportswear, your hometown premium golf apparel company. Find us in your local pro shop or online at donaldross.com. And this week's event on the Senior Champions Tour is the, I don't know what they call that, the Colleague Companies Championship. And Cameron Percy's leading Jerry Kelly and Zach Johnson by a shot. And my man Boo Weekley's another shot back. Remember Boo Weekley?
Boo Weekley.
Yeah. And we were talking a little bit earlier in the segment, Freeze. We don't have much time, but a little weird this week to see the top 2 players in the world. Mr. Cut, Nelly Korda, who I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Mr. Cut at Evian, which is one of their majors.
Yeah.
And Scotty Scheffler, he hasn't missed a cut in how long?
I think it's 78 events, about almost 4 years here. I think that's the 5th all time.
Right.
You know, Tiger had the record, I think, but
Yeah,
that's
Tiger's is
amazing, consistent golf.
Yeah, think of Tiger's record is ridiculous. I forget what it is. It's like 170 or something.
I'm not sure if that could be matched.
Yeah, and just to go 78 or 70 something events like that seems very, very difficult to be in the top half of the field of the best players in the world. Every time you tee it up and make the cut, that's consistency. That's outstanding.
And they're talking about on the PGA Tour having that again, bigger fields, and the signature events, instead of inviting 90 players or something, it could be back up into the hundreds, 120. So there will be a cut in every event. I think it's starting in 28, and I like that. That's you've got to earn it. You've got to earn the weekend. Got to play well.
Yeah, you know, I was a little skeptical at first about the changes for the PGA Tour, but the more I've read about it, the more I looked at it, the more I'm excited and what it's going to do for golf. And I do believe that we're not going to have much of the live tour next year. Not that any of those players are really going to, too many of them are going to challenge. But
we'll see how that happens. I want them all. You want the best to be playing every week, and
right.
And just championship golf, scratch golf, going to your clubs and playing. Best of luck to everybody playing. May the hole get in your way. And Jeff, this is great. Just hanging out with you here, talking golf, talking local golf. It is fun. So best of luck to all the competitors here at the Porter Cup. This is great. Thanks.
And the best players in the world, the soon-to-be best players in the world, are playing here this week.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll be here at the Porter Cup. Well, I hope we didn't bore you with our show today. Tim Freeze and I, the AAA team, got called up this week to run the show. And first of all, I'd like to thank Evan DePaul. Great job on the board helping me get through this. JP Bedard for helping us out today. Also, don't forget the Duster's coming up. Got to sign up for that. The first chance you get, we're gonna have that coming up soon. That's filling up quickly, so don't forget. Thanks to Kevin Sylvester and Brian Cozio, who couldn't be here, and also August 24th. The Western New York Open.
Yeah, I can see out of Glen Oaks, some scratch golf. Absolutely.
Sign up for that. Well, we'll see you next week on Tee2Green. Enjoy your weekend. Play some golf today, people.